If you like to knit all the time, all throughout the year, but don't like the warmth of a 100% wool yarn on those hot summer days, there are some alternatives you can consider. Not only is it less sweaty to knit with a yarn that is not 100% wool during the summer, it also makes sense to choose a fiber alternative for any short-sleeved garment because it will be more comfortable to wear when the weather is really hot. Hi, I'm Annika. I'm a natural yarn dyer and I'm coming to you from Germany. I'm also an avid knitter and I basically love everything that's related to the fiber arts. Let's get started. First, let's talk about different kinds of fibers and yarn weights. However, if you would like to skip directly to my yarn recommendations, I'm going to put up a timestamp for you. So the first thing you should consider when thinking about a suitable yarn for a summer knitting project is both the fiber content and the yarn weight. When it comes to the yarn weight, you can generally say that the thinner the yarn, the lighter the garment is going to be. So if you choose a lace weight yarn or maybe even a light fingering, you could get by with using a 100% wool yarn even for a summer project because it is going to produce a very lightweight garment. The second thing to consider is the fiber content. Now, generally when it comes to natural fibers, we differentiate between protein fibers and cellulose fibers. Of course, there are also synthetic fibers, but since sustainability is very important to me, I'm going to focus solely on natural fibers in this video. Protein fibers or wool come from fiber animals like sheep, alpaca, goats, rabbits, or yaks, for example. Wool has a lot of wonderful qualities. It is breathable, can take up a lot of moisture, it is stain and odor resistant and also very warm. But since we are looking for suitable summer yarns here, warmth is not what we are looking for. Another great quality for knitters is the fact that wool is somewhat stretchy. This makes the knitting process itself a lot more enjoyable. The other type of natural fibers are cellulose or plant-based fibers. For examples are linen, cotton, hemp, or rami. The disadvantage of these types of fibers is the fact that they lack the elasticity of wool, which means that they are a bit stiffer in general, which can feel a bit more uncomfortable to knit with compared to a wool yarn, which is stretchy. It also means that there is not as much give to the fabric, the knitted piece, which means that uneven stitches are going to be more visible. Personally, I have to say I do enjoy knitting with plant-based fibers and I don't think they are that uncomfortable. A great thing about plant-based fibers is the fact that they absorb a lot of moisture. They are also cool to the touch, which means they are very comfortable to wear during summer. They are easy to care for, which means you can usually just throw them in the washing machine and they are completely fine because they are very strong fibers. And for people who are sensitive to wool, plant-based fibers are a wonderful alternative because they tend to be a lot softer. If you want to get the best of both worlds, you could get a blend of a wool yarn and a plant-based fiber yarn. The top that I'm wearing is a perfect example for this. It is called, let me see if I can show you. It is called the Night Sky and it is a pattern by Heidi Kiermeier. The yarn is Ovis etc. Igneae and it is a blend of 60% wool, 20% silk and 20% rami, which is a plant-based fiber. I really love this yarn. It has a wonderful drape and also this nice subtle sheen and I really like to wear it. However, on those very, very hot summer days, I usually do not go for this because it tends to get a little bit too warm. Another example for a blend that I wanted to show you is this one. This is Saona by Wool Dreamers, whoops, and it is a 50-50% of wool and cotton. To be quite honest, this feels just very nice and soft. I don't really feel the cotton content, but I think it will be very comfortable to wear in the spring months when the weather is not yet as hot. I am working on a sweater knitting project with this yarn right now, and I can highly recommend it. The colorways I've got are Ozetta, and this bluish gray is 1985. Let's have a look at some of my recommendations for 100% plant-based yarns now. During those very, very hot summer days, in my opinion, you cannot go wrong with a 100% cotton yarn. And the first example I want to show you is this one. This is a dress pattern called the Clara dress. I'm going to link it for you in the description box, that I made years ago for one of my daughters, and the yarn I used to make it is called Scheepjes Sunkissed. Let me see if I can give you a close-up. So this dress has been washed countless times in the washing machine. I think it still looks really nice and feels very soft, and was easy to care for, and my daughter loved to wear this dress, so I can highly recommend this yarn. I have used it for several projects for children now. I've made this dress and also another one in the pink yarn of the Sunkissed line, and I also just made another Clara dress in a purple color, which I have here, for one of my nieces. I'm going to put up a picture for you. But this is the yarn. The yarn comes in a range of very vibrant shades, which all have this marling effect, and I really like it for girls especially. But yeah, overall I can definitely recommend the Scheepjes Sunkissed. Another 100% cotton yarn that I wanted to recommend to you is the Sandnes Garn Mandarin Petit. This is it here, and that's the color 7720, this very nice light aqua. I used it to knit another girl's dress. It's not completely dry yet, it just came off the blocking mats, but this is the Anka's dress by Petit knit, and I think it came out very, very cute in this yarn. It was a joy to work with. It's very soft. It is a little bit splitty, but I did not have any big issues with that. I really, really like this yarn, and I'm sure that this has not been my last knitting project with the Mandarin Petit. I can highly recommend this yarn as well. And did I say that? It's also a 100% cotton yarn. Another yarn that I wanted to recommend is the BC Garn Allino. I do not have it with me right now, but I'm going to put up pictures for you. I used this yarn in a dark blue colorway to knit an all-over lace cardigan for myself a couple of years ago. I'm going to put up a picture of the cardigan as well. It is called the Garnet cardigan, and it is designed by Alicia Plummer. The yarn is a 50-50 blend of linen and cotton, and it was very nice to work with as well. Since there are two different plant-based fibers blended in this yarn, this gives the yarn a lot of movement, because you can never create a completely solid colorway if you use blends of yarns. But personally, I really like this, and I also liked knitting with the yarn. It is a DK weight, and like I said, I can highly recommend this yarn as well. I'm going to put up a link to my Ravelry project page for you in the description box in case you are interested in more details. Another cotton linen blend yarn that I wanted to recommend to you is Isager Bomulin. This is a blend of 65% cotton and 35% linen. I purchased 3 balls of this yarn when I was on vacation in Lisbon, Portugal, and had the opportunity to visit Retrosaria Rosa Pomar. I bought the colorway 0. I'm going to put up a picture for you somewhere so that you can see, which is a natural color, but I purchased this color with the intention to naturally dye it myself. Unfortunately, I cannot show it to you right now because it is currently outside drying because I just dyed it. I originally intended to dye it a light green, a sagey green with nettles, but as you might know, if you are a natural dyer yourself, you never fully know how the final colorway is going to look if you are working with natural materials. And the result I got is more of a gray now, a light gray, but I personally really like it and I'm for sure going to show it to you in another video in the future. The top I'm planning to make is Yoni by Natasha Hornby, which I'm going to show you a picture of as well, and I'm for sure going to talk more about it in the future. And another recommendation for a great yarn for summer knitting projects I wanted to give you is a 100% silk yarn. The one I have here is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Cream. Now, I intend to naturally dye this yarn as well. I'm planning to over dye it with avocado pits and skins to create a dusty shade of pink. And what I want to knit with it is the Cumulus Tea by Petit Knit. If you're interested in learning how to dye yarn yourself using natural dyes, I'm going to put up a blog post where I talk about dyeing with avocados. And if you would like to learn the general natural dyeing process step by step, I have written a free guide all about natural yarn dyeing for beginners. You can download it for free and I'm going to link it for you in the description box as well. What are your favorite yarns to knit with during summer or to use for your summer knitting projects? Please leave a comment so that we can all inspire each other. And if you would like to know what I'm planning to make for my summer wardrobe, you can have a look at this video. Until next time, bye guys!